Good afternoon. I'm Dara Bunjon. I am the food enthusiast here at J Moore Living. I'm a food writer, food stylist, PR maven, and a frustrated baker. Those of you joining us live, drop your questions into the comment box and I will check from time to time. Today's guest is British chef Caroline Artiss, a YouTube sensation. She and three other female chefs created the Gorgeous Kitchen, a restaurant in Heathrow Airport, which is recognized by the Daily Mail as the best airport restaurant in the world. A move to the US to work on cooking shows, i.e., she did some special videos for Mercedes-Benz, Bonefish Grill, Malaysian Airlines. Her partnership in the Great American Fry Company came to a standstill during COVID. A move to the Malibu Mountains, Calamigos Ranch, where her attention went to the dogs, that is, Migos Dog Foods and supplements. Let's welcome Caroline.
Hi, Dara.
Hi, Caroline. And I have to apologize, people. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, but we made it in here maybe at 101. So we did okay. Caroline, what's on your plate today other than doing this show? I know it's California and it's a little early for you.
Yeah, so we're just starting the day. We're just busy making up a bunch of gently cooked fresh dog food. We had an extra big order in this week, and going to be up at the ranch in a bit after the interview, and just making sure all operations go smoothly.
Well, that's great. So I'm just getting this up here so I can see if any comments come in. We're all set. Caroline, in reading your bio, you have such a great history, and I must say that you have a great ease and sense of genuineness when looking at your videos and everything you've done, so I can see why you've been so successful. You started cooking at 15. You went to culinary school. Can you fill us in a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. And thank you so much for those kind words. I've honestly, since I was a kid, I've been cooking, loved food, always loved food, kind of obsessed with it, really. And when I was 15, I started work experience at a restaurant in the English countryside in Buckinghamshire. And the owners were like, you know what, we think you're good, so we think, you should go to culinary school and you have a job. And so I loved the atmosphere and the vibe of being in a professional kitchen. And so I went to culinary school and just worked for the family for a long time, and learned just so much about the food industry. Getting hands-on experience, I think, was really, really important.
I can't help but think about the PBS show Chef and working out in the countryside in a very fancy restaurant. I picture you with the hat and being the little commess running around. Okay, so I diverge. My British fixation, which I was explaining to Caroline. I get BritBox and I watch every mystery. I just finished Dale and Pasco. So how the entire series just stream out. Okay. You're a young single mom. Things become tough. You go into catering. You learn to believe in yourself, which was very important. And before TikTok came about, there was YouTube.
That's right.
And to this day, you have over 49,200 subscribers. And the doors started to open for you when your YouTube took off. Was there anything, what was the first sign that this YouTube channel was blowing up for you?
Yeah, that's such a great question. And it feels like so many moons ago, because I guess when YouTube had first started, it was a new thing to everyone then. My friends were like, have you heard of this platform? I was like, no. And so it was just something where, I wanted to share my recipes. And I'm not a writer. You're the writer. I'm not a writer. So I was like, how can I share recipes that my friends and family wanted and show them exactly how to do it? So the main for me was being able to visually show them rather than write it. I think I've become a little bit writing recipes. Well, yeah, writing recipes is easy now, but it's just being able to show someone, well, how you whisk your egg whites until they become this stiff. I just wanted to visually show them that. And I think that was really great to have YouTube as a platform, because it was free. And yes, you're right, as a single mom, it was just something I did in my spare time. And I think that I started to get a gauge of this was a good thing for me because I actually really enjoyed it. And I also started getting comments from people all over the world. And we're talking, 10, 15 years ago. And that was blowing my mind. It didn't have all the iPhones then to film everything in. I used a little digital camera, and I exchanged food in return for friends' help to help me edit stuff because I'm a terrible editor. I'm not a film person. I didn't know how to do it. But I think the beauty of these platforms is that, people are forgiving on those things. Some people. It's just, listen, I know how to cook. I don't know how to, create a movie. So it's just.
That brings up a question. Jen, our producer, says, I have a question for her. I go, okay. Now, people have to remember that you've moved on to creating a food line for dogs.
Yes.
Jen's question is, who's pickier, humans or your dogs?
Again, really great question. You'd think it wouldn't be the dogs, but I'm just going to say there are so many picky dogs, and dogs that have allergies and all these health issues that, I was flabbergasted at how many picky dogs there were out there. You'd think they'd just be happy to eat anything, but no, they're not. So that's been quite amusing.
Well, I have other questions for you, but I want to get to the dogs.
Right.
Because right now you're in the midst of writing a cookbook, which are recipes for food for dogs, that you worked with um, veterinarians, nutritionists, to create Migos. And what I think you said was a surprise to you that how there was such a lack of regulation in foods for dogs.
Yes.
So tell us more about what you're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, I never in a million years would I have thought I'd be, in the pet food industry, but I am. And that was due to COVID and a couple of my restaurants that I put so much time into just going under. And I just said, I want to move to the mountains and hang out with dogs. Well, a friend introduced me to someone who was up at the Calamigos Ranch in Malibu, this gorgeous place. And they had just started a fresh dog food company. And they asked me, do you like dogs? And I was like, yes, I absolutely love dogs. And kind of the rest is history. So that's how I got into the pet food industry. But once I'd learned about what regular or lack of regulations rather there were for dogs, cats, and the kind of ingredients, not even real food, that was going into their diets, it really shocked me. And so that's why I've decided to turn my attention now to the canines and the cats. I'm going to be helping the cats too, and it's just something that I'm just really passionate about. And I'm all about real food, and I think there's a big wave of pet parents who are beginning to realize that, us for us people eating healthy food, it helps us live longer. It's good, it just helps with all sorts of ailments. And the same applies to the pets. It's just kind of common for me. It's kind of common sense, really. It's just, if you feed something, if you feed a living being kind of either just junk food all the time or just food that is not supposed to be consumed, then there's going to be problems somewhere down the line.
Well, I think on the website, migosdog.com, there are actually stories about a dog that wasn't looking healthy who went on to either eating the treats, being the natural jerkies, or the dinner meals, or the person is using your recipes along with you have a product that is a supplement to foods that people will make for their pets, and takes care of them, that there is a significant change in the dog's health, and
Yes.
people are writing about that. I have to say, because we're over on the East Coast, that the products are available right now only in Los Angeles area, but when your cookbook comes out, then the supplement, I'm assuming, is a powder? Is it a
Yeah.
powder?
So it's only the gently cooked fresh food that is in Los Angeles right now and San Francisco. But the supplement powder and our all natural jerky is available online for nationwide shipping. So that is something where I'm giving out free recipes for anyone that can't get hold of our food and they just want to make their own at home, even whether they're in LA or wherever, in the country. It's just something that I want to make the brand more accessible to all pet parents.
Uh,
And yeah.
I'm happy to hear that it's available. Um, and I saw on the website that you just received the Family Choice Award for single ingredient jerkies and also for the supplements. So the products have been recognized for their quality. And you're working on the cookbook now. So do we have a publisher for it, or where are we on that? Are we self-publishing?
We're halfway through. I think with the cookbook, I think all my other books have been through a publisher, and that's been great because it's amazing because they take care of everything for you. But I think for this one, we're gonna maybe self-publish so that maybe we can retain more of,
Right.
the rights and kind of earn some actual, retail kickback from it. So
Right. And let's talk about your other cookbooks. You have a cookbook that you did um, with were the other three women in it for the restaurant, The Gorgeous Kitchen. There is a cookbook. So did all four women chefs work on that book?
yes, yeah, that was the first one. That was my first book, and it was with the three other female chefs who are great friends from The Gorgeous Kitchen, and we all just contributed. Kind of basically, we just split it up into four, and made a great cookbook to go with the restaurant. Unfortunately, the restaurant is not there anymore because during COVID, no one was traveling, and restaurants obviously, so it was kind of a double whammy for the restaurant. But we had a good innings. Yeah.
Well, you got the recognition, you built a great friendship, you have a cookbook out of it, and people can find that at Amazon.com. And what are the other books that you've done? There's one just for beauty, but let's talk about the other books that you've accomplished.
Well, so the second one was actually it was for beauty, but it was more aimed at foods that you can eat. So it's more like internal foods that you can eat that are going to be have loads of like good omega-3 sixes to help your skin stay like soft and supple, and even things to help your hair grow, your nails grow. So it
Right.
was more of a nutritional book. And then the follow-up one from that book, because that one did well, was an external beauty. So it was basically homemade DIY face masks, scrubs that you can do so you don't have to spend a fortune. You can just literally go into your pantry and find some brown sugar and this and that, and mix it with a couple of ingredients that you can find either at the store or just on Amazon, and make yourself your own kind of like regime at home.
Right. And were you born in Malaysia or were you born in Britain?
Born in Britain, born and bred, yes.
Okay. But your family's Malaysian.
On my mother's side, yes, Malaysian.
Okay. So my question to you, is there a favorite Malaysian dish that your family fix that you just have to have all the time?
Oh gosh, yeah, that's a toughie. There's so many. I feel like Malaysian food is so diverse. Um, I would say my favorite. Ooh, okay, all right. A dish called laksa. It's a noodle soup made with like kind of like a coconutty broth, lots of seafood in there, and it's quite pungent, but it also has lots of fresh herbs in it. So for me, that's probably one of my favorite dishes. There's also chicken satay. Chicken satay is one of my signature dishes, Malaysian style. So it's a chicken marinated in lots of spices with a peanut sauce on the side. That is great for barbecuing. And then there's another fried noodle dish called char kway teow. So you can't get me started on Malaysian food because I'll go on for a whole whole episode.
We don't see many Malaysian restaurants because Malaysia is sort of seems to be a cross culture of many backgrounds, Asian backgrounds. But there was one that I went to in Chicago. I can't remember the name. In fact, Elizabeth Faulkner, who people might know from the Food Network and whatever, she told me about it. We were up there for women chefs, so it was very, very, very good.
Oh.
And you had your own series for Malaysian TV, which was simply Caroline. I mean, your background is so diverse. Your daughter now, I mean, you look like you're 25.
Oh.
Your daughter is what? How old is she?
Definitely not. No, she's 23. Yes, 23
Right?
now. Yeah.
It's hard to believe. You started young, but you look fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
I want to tell people with Thanksgiving coming up that Carolyn has her own website. These websites are over in the comment section. They're popped up. But CarolineArtiss.com, and you're featuring some recipes for Thanksgiving. And I'm just looking over my notes here. Somewhere I wrote it down. Oh, yeah. Sausage, pancetta, sage stuffing balls, herb roasted turkey breast, and sweet potato, pecan, pomegranate, feta boats.
They were tasty.
So if you want something a little bit different and something different than your sweet potato, maybe go over to the site. The recipes are there. Caroline Artiss on YouTube, tons and tons of recipes, very simple. It's not 20 ingredients, and drop in, be the other 49,201 subscribers, because you're back to doing those videos. I see that you're back in doing them. I'm just looking over my notes. Okay. I think I've sort of covered all that. We've talked about Migos Dog Food. It's migosdog.com. I have the questions that I usually ask at the end of the show. And I think I pre-warned you on that. What's the best bite you've had all week?
So this one, for me, hands down, it was last Sunday at the Malibu Farmers Market. I bought some tara salata, which I haven't had in a really long time because it's hard to find out here. I don't know why, but maybe I'm not going to the right store. So I had tara salata from a Greek stall, and also a really good olive tapenade. That was really, like, for me, I was very excited about that. So that was my best bite.
So the tara salata is a salty thing. How did you do it? Did you just do it as a dip or with the tapenade? Tell me how you used it.
So I also bought some really fresh pita breads from them. So I did that. I kind of grilled the pita breads just with a little drizzle of olive oil. And I made myself pretty much just a little lunch snack board. So it was the tara salata dip, which already had, I put an extra squeeze of lemon juice in it. So essentially that's just fish roe. And I love all things seafood. So for me, it was the fish roe with the olive oil, lemon juice, squirted a bit extra lemon in because I like that. Had it with pita breads and some cucumbers. I always find cucumbers have a really nice balancing effect with the saltiness, makes it a bit more fresher. And that was it, really.
Okay. If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self a piece of advice, what would it be?
Yeah, that one really made me think a lot. Because I feel like there's a lot that's happened since I've been 18. But I would say try not to be as much of a people pleaser and trust my instincts more, really.
Okay. If you wake up tomorrow morning with a new talent, what would the new talent be?
I would absolutely love to be like multilingual. I'd love to be able to speak all the languages. There's some people I know that are just so good with languages; they can pick them up and learn them so easily. I'm unfortunately, yeah, I don't speak many other, but yeah, any other languages really. I can get by, but it's just I would love to go to another country because I love traveling. I love being in local communities, and I connect through food and sign language, and I think that's generally how I kind of connect. But being able to speak the language for me would be amazing.
You're not the only one who said that, and I do have friends who are more than bilingual. They're speaking. Amy Riolo speaks, I think, like 5 languages. So
Yeah,
I'm just amazed. And I think it's like anything else. You either have a knack for it or you don't.
hmm yeah, I do not.
Uh,
Yeah.
But I will say, and as I said before going on air, that I recognize with everything that you do in your videos, uh, that you are at ease in front of the camera, that there's a genuineness that comes through with your passion about the food. Did you take any media courses? I'm just curious because I need help.
Oh my goodness. No, you don't at all. No, I that's a yeah, really kind. But no, I didn't take any courses. I was actually when I first started doing the YouTube videos really shy and I was really awkward. And it just really took a lot of, I guess, practice and just keep on, just each video. The first one, I was so stiff. It was just more like, and this goes in here. And, it just, yeah, it looks pretty bad. I think it's still probably up on my YouTube channel. But I think the more I just either relaxed into it and just started like maybe not, worrying about what people are going to think of this or that and just trying to be more, yeah, just trying to be more calmer and just say, well, this is me and I'm just telling you about food and just giving you my opinion. Everyone's got their own opinion, it's fine. But this is just my take on a dish or it's my fusion way of doing something. And yeah, I think it took me a while, but I got over the shyness.
Great. Well, you're very polished because to go on and to do these commercials for um, Mercedes-Benz and all the work that you did for Bonefish Grill, it, it comes to you. That's your talent, one of your talents. So my final question is, what didn't I ask you that I probably should have?
Ooh, that's a good one because you did cover on. I was thinking you covered on loads of stuff about Migos Dog, obviously, and I was thinking, my next thing obviously is my fourth cookbook is going to be for the dogs, but I guess now, let me have a think. What didn't you cover? Maybe will I ever cook for people again?
Well, you put up some recent videos, unless you were rehashing old ones. So I think you sort of have that urge.
Yeah, I do.
So people can stay tuned
Mhm.
to your website, carolineartiss.com, for human food, and for dog food to migosdog.com. And keep your eye out on Amazon.com. I'm sure on either one of these sites, when that book comes out, it'll be up there. I thank you so much, Caroline. You filled my little British need for the day as well. And I wish you all the best, continued success, and the best of the holiday season. Thank you for joining us at the Food Enthusiast.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. It was a real pleasure. And yeah, I hope we get to connect more. So thank you.
Hopefully, yes, absolutely. Okay, everyone, my little tidbit. I always like to keep you informed of our guests and things that are going on. C.W. Silverberg, or C-Dub as he goes by. He was on maybe 6 or 7 weeks ago. He's well known through YouTube and TikTok for Tripping Kosher. And he is now committed to and has a series on the Jewish streaming channel called Kai Flix, sorry. And starting November 16th, it's their first original series, and it'll be up on Kai Flix, and it's called Smoozing and Cruising with C-Dub Silverberg. So watch out for that. Congrats to C-Dub. For next week, I won't be here. I'm going to be on vacation. So in 2 weeks, my guest will be Donna Pitts, originally from Seoul, Korea, then Australia, and now living in Phoenix, Arizona with her family. Sometimes she is referred to as the Asian Martha Stewart. Her mission is to make a difference on how people think of Asian cuisines and entertaining. She's the first to admit she's not a chef or a celebrity, but a normal, everyday gal who loves to create memories with her loved ones at a table over delicious food. Her book, Entertaining is My Love Language, is her first book. You can follow her on Entertaining is My Love Language. I want to show you the book. It is gorgeous. This is not everyday entertaining, but it is a fascinating book, and would love to talk to her about it. We have the holidays coming up, so I'm sure she can give us some tips on that. Monthly, J More Living is giving away $50 gift cards to some of your favorite local restaurants in the Baltimore, Maryland area. Visit jmoreliving.com/contest to enter to win. If you need to reach me, you can reach me at my email address, which is food@jmoreliving.com, or my Instagram account at Dara Cooks. All shows are immediately archived in video form on J More Living's Facebook page and jmoreliving.com. Feel free to dig into our video archives of past shows. We truly appreciate it when you share our show with friends and family. And as I always end my show, may your plates always, always remain full. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in 2 weeks.